Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on a Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to Queensland in particular and, of course, visit my former, of course, home state, and, of course, that in Queensland, especially on the Sunshine Coast where I used to live, and, of course, especially up to Maroochydore, and, of course, speak with the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club. And of course, we've got two very special guests joining us right now to tell us how everything's been like up there in Maroochydore in regards to competition-wise. Thanks, both of you, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us which events in surf lifesaving that both of you compete in.
So hi, my name's Jess Oates. I'm 17 years old. I live in Brisbane, so just a little bit off the Sunshine Coast up at Maroochydore. I've been doing lifesaving since I was 8 years old. I recently got into well, not recently, but through Nippers, I got into pool lifesaving. And so that's kind of where I focus, is in the pool. So we tow mannequins and all that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Steve, and I got into swimming when I was a young age. I was always swimming, and then I got into the surf club, being told, because I was always at the beach so much. So then I joined the surf club and became a member, and then I do, like Jess, we both do the pool stuff. So like swimming with mannequins and pool lifesaving and pool rescue events. So that's what we both do.
Obviously, this year's been a pretty different year for everyone, and I'm soon to be the same with surf lifesaving at the moment. Obviously, Queensland is obviously the restrictions are a lot better than this down here in Melbourne at the moment. But obviously, I guess, how has it been like this year with especially what's been going on, and especially, I guess I'm assuming like different protocols are involved now with obviously with COVID here.
Well, yeah, our surf season at the start of the year, which runs from the end of 2019 to about April 2020, that was obviously cut short. So we missed our nationals and our states in the surf. And then our pool rescue season, which runs from about a month after that up till August, was also half cancelled, half postponed. So we managed to get states in later in October, I believe we did it. Oh no, earlier than that, last month. September, yeah. We ended up doing our states, which was good that we got to do some sort of thing, but we're now in our sort of off-season phase and starting to get back into surf again.
To be honest, I found it really hard because I sort of I kind of go on a couple year block for me. So I had planned to be like Jess and I went away to England last year on an Australian team, and then, Jess had Junior Worlds coming up. I had Open Worlds coming up. We had plans for this year, and then I wanted to try and use Worlds in Italy that was meant to be this year, which has been obviously postponed. I was looking to use that as a leaping board to try and go to German Cup next year. So I like to have a yearly block. So I had kind of my next couple of years kind of planned. And then with this whole COVID stuff, I find it really hard right now to not stay motivated, but just kind of have direction, which I think a lot of athletes, especially athletes that are out of school right now, because I think it's hard enough for athletes that are like 19, 20, 21, because they're just like not necessarily earning a lot of money, trying to get a uni degree when you could easily quit, get a job instead of pursuing like your goals, I guess. And I had a yearly plan, and that's all been gone. So I don't know, that kind of answers everything with COVID, kind of. I don't know.
Mm. Now, Steven, you just mentioned about the German Cup next year in 2021. I guess, Are you optimistic that you'd be, obviously, if the event is going to go ahead, or are you hoping that you can do that, or are you...
I'm hoping it goes ahead, but I'm very much believing that it won't be. Yeah, I'm optimistic, but I don't think it'll happen, no. Yeah, I doubt we'll be able to be traveling to Germany and international travel and stuff. I doubt that.
And when was that supposed to happen next year?
It's normally around the end of the year. So I don't know off the top of my head, but
it's usually around October-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, around then. Yeah.
Well, I guess you've got about another year left. So hopefully by then everything will be all okay for you to go to Germany,
Hopefully.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Now, Jess, you did mention about the state championships just recently as well. I guess, how did you go in that? And Stephen, if you got involved in that as well, how did you go in that as well?
I actually surprised myself at those championships just because obviously training hasn't been at a peak, and we didn't really peak for that event because it was kind of just something to do something with the pool rescue season because Worlds was cancelled and we don't know when we're going to be able to compete internationally again. So I didn't do any personal best times, but I ended up winning my age group in a few events. So I was really happy with how I went.
Yeah, I was sick, so I mean, I just rocked up and did what I had to do. But I mean, I knew I was also like, I knew there wasn't going to be a national event after it, so I was kind of less motivated, I guess. I still tried my best, given though I was a bit sick, but I knew that if there was a national event coming up after it, I would have obviously put in a lot more effort, which I think is just a part of the circumstances of the year.
The fun part of the surf lifesaving, I guess, season, I'm assuming is coming up. Obviously, with, I guess, being on the beach and especially on the surf competing. Tell us, how's the preparations like towards that this summer? And when's the next events coming up?
The professional series is only starting next year. But for me personally, I have to go get knee surgery at the end of November. So just like a long-term stress-induced injury. But so I'll be a bit delayed for that season. But the states and nationals will hopefully be held about April next year. I think nationals is meant to be. So fingers crossed that can go ahead.
Yeah, fingers crossed for nationals next year. Be good for the belt race and tube race. So fingers crossed for that. That's the beach side of it. Yeah, just keep.
You just mentioned that you're going into surgery next month,
Yeah.
which obviously delays your summer season. I guess, was that a real tough decision to, I guess, go into surgery?
Yeah, definitely. Because my focus is mainly pool rescue, my goal moving from I'm usually racing age groups, but now as I'm getting older and my first year in under 19s next season, I'm moving into more of that open category. And this Worlds would have been my youth world, so now I'm in an open category. So I need to start racing like the big girls and the 20-year-olds, the 24-year-olds. So that's really my focus. So my plan and my goals are not set for this season or next season. It's more like 3 years in the future when we can do international travel and I can get on those open teams. So choosing to do the surgery so soon, I wanted to finish school, which I'm in the middle of exams now in year 12, finish those off, do the surgery, do my recovery and my rehab so I can get back and build up for those next 2 years. So when it does all come back, I can get onto those open teams.
Now, tell us a bit about your coaches down at Maroochydore.
Oh yeah, so we've got wealth of knowledge. We've got the Short brothers, so we've got there's like 5 or 6 of them, but we're mainly do everything with 2 of them. So there's Liam and Danny, who work hand in hand, and Danny does a lot of organizing everything. So they're brilliant. I mean, they're like literally, if you have a question about anything, maybe not Liam, but I think Danny would just know the answer to anything you need. And then if he wouldn't know, he'd know who to ask, and you get an answer really quickly. And then you've got Becca, who helps us a lot. And then you've got, for the surf guys, we've got back on board for this year, we've got Reece Drury, who's a gun ski coach, and he's really good, as well as we've got Toddy, who's a good ski coach. And then we've got Bugsy, who's like oversees a lot of this Ironman and Ironwomen events. So he's really good and he's got a lot of history. And then we've got, who else? We got Swanee. Swanee's running all the sprints programs. So the beach running and the beach sprints. So we've got a really well-rounded group, and we've got, like surf lifesaving involves everything from running on the beach to swimming in the pool to swimming like Ironman, like board paddling and ski paddling. So we've got coaches that cater for everything across every field. So it's really, really great.
And I think the good thing about our coaches is that they still compete to this day in masters. So they know what it's like to be an athlete and to compete at those high levels. Both Danny and a lot of the other coaches have competed in those Australian teams back in their past, back in their youth. So for them to be able to mentor us and be able to guide us, not just in the coaching aspect, but also like they know how we're feeling as athletes as well.
Yeah, and also from a coaching aspect, like Danny and Backer have also not only they've been on the Australian teams, but they've coached Australian teams in the past. And then there's another bloke who goes along with the name of Jason O'Prey, who's around the club, who's like a mentor, and he's been on Australian teams, he's around. And then there's a lot of not even coaches. I see them more as mentors that are just blokes that have coached Australian teams that people wouldn't even know about unless you're around the club, which is something really cool. There's a lot of wealth of knowledge, so it's great.
Now, of course, the major event I know down on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland in surf lifesaving is the Coolangatta Gold. I guess is that something both you want to get into?
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the Coolangatta Gold. I've always been too young, so if I was to do it, I think this year would have been my first year. As it moved on to a virtual event this year, so anyone around the globe could have participated, which was really cool and something different to kind of maybe not the exact thing that everyone was hoping for, but still a really great event, and a lot of people are getting involved in it. There was like a version of it at Alexandra Headland, at the beach over from Maroochydore, and they called it the Unbreakable, and it was like a half length sort of one, and everyone got involved there. It looked like a lot of fun. A lot of sponsors got involved with that as well, so there was prize money up for offer, which was really great.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, I think it's sick.
Wouldn't get on a ski, Steven.
Nah, mate, not me, mate.
Now, I've interviewed a couple of your fellow members there at Maroochydore. Now, and I've asked this question, and I get the same answer. So I want to know what both your answer is, see if I get the same answer on this one. Is there a particular club in Queensland that you would love to beat the most?
I probably think of two. Northcliffe and Alexandra Headlands would definitely be my two that I'd want to beat.
For me, it's Currumbin.
Oh yeah, Currumbin. That's a good
Just
one.
Currumbin. A lot of people say Northcliffe. Just Currumbin. Nah, just Currumbin.
Steve, why Currumbin?
Why Currumbin? One of the great questions. I'm trying to be respectful. I don't know. I don't know. Something about them. They're just, yeah, I don't know. Nah, they're always great competitors, and they're always great in the pool, and they always are great in the events I do on the ocean, like the tube and the belt race. And they've got, a guy just retired, Matt Davis, who was on the Australian team for 5 years, many years. And I looked up to him, and I always was like, man, he's at Currumbin. I know he's been at Northcliffe and other clubs, but I just remember seeing him when he was at Currumbin and going, man, I want to beat him. But I don't get the chance now that he's retired. But I mean, I guess maybe that kind of fueled the flame. I don't know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, Jess, of course, I've got to ask you, why Northcliffe?
They have a lot of strong competitors in my age group all the way coming up. They have like 15 teams in one age group. They have so many girls, and it's always a bit of the Sunshine Coast versus Gold Coast rivalry, and a lot of the Gold Coast girls are at that club, and Sunshine Coast, we just want to beat them all the time just to say that we're better.
Yes, I've been getting that answer from quite a few of your fellow members at Maroochydore about Northcliffe. So, yep, fair enough. Now, obviously, both you mentioned right at the start how both of you got involved in surf lifesaving. The question I want to ask is, what does the sport of surf lifesaving mean to both of you, and especially being there at Maroochydore?
I guess I'll go first. I only came to Maroochydore, I think this will be my second season there. So I've only been there for 2 seasons. And the club is just such a welcoming club. Everyone's so friendly. Me being from Brisbane, a Brisbane-based person, they had a lot of opportunities that they did cater to those Brisbane people. And a lot of people are from Brisbane at the club. Yeah, everyone was so welcoming. The coaches are like really, really good. The atmosphere just at the club, everyone's just there to have a good time, but also to put the work in. And I just something about just the atmosphere hanging around the club. Like everyone's just so nice. And yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's just community. It's literally, it's like us as a community, as like a big family in a way. Whenever you go away on trips, you always get looked after. Oh, if a Maroochydore person in trouble, we all hang back and help. If someone's lost, we're all helping that person help. If we're all going well, we're all celebrating. If we're all going bad, we're all grieving. Like, it's just the community. Like, we're just like a big family, and that's, for me, why I love Maroochydore. Like, everyone's just all around each other, like getting around each other. So that's, yeah. And for what it means, it's exactly that again, like the community that it creates, the atmosphere that it creates. And it's just always good vibes. It's just everyone's happy, everyone's there to support. If bad things are going in someone else's outside from surf lifesaving and personal life, like still you'll get a lot of support from the Maroochydore part of your life. Like, yeah, it's just all about the community.
Now, what will be some highlights throughout both your surf lifesaving journey, and do either of you have any future goals going forward?
I definitely think a highlight for me would be making my first Australian team. Last year, we went to the UK, both Steven and I, with the Royal Lifesaving team, and that was just a really great. I never realised how much the Australians are like to cross overseas, being from the beaches and stuff. Everyone always knows Australia. Everyone was always coming up being like, "Oh, you're from Australia, da da da," and that was definitely one of my highlights and something I definitely aspire to want to be on more of those teams in the future. Yeah, as I was saying before, taking that step into the opens, not being a youth competitor anymore. That's definitely my goal, to not just keep with the open girls, but to beat them and to push them, and definitely just to get up there. And yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's, representing your country is the pinnacle of the sport. So making more Australian teams is why I'm still in it, why I still do it. And I guess that's always going to be my driving factor. I mean, it's why I kind of get up and train. It's kind of why I try to eat better. It's why I try to do physio. I try to stretch, try to everything. Like, yeah, to maintain being on an Australian team and to be pushing myself at the best of my limits. So, yeah.
Obviously, both you've had a chance to be on the same team. Now you're both at the same club as well. I guess tell us how special is to have each other on the same team in the Australian side of things, but also at the same club.
Yeah, the pool rescue community at Maroochydore is absolutely amazing. We had 4 Maroochydore guys go over to England, and just within that big group, obviously we were people with Western Australia, New South Wales, and even just to have those Queensland people, and never even mind your club, they're people that even though you're going away as an Australian team, those people from your club are so central and they help you out. Me being one of the youngest, I really looked up to all the older guys on the team. Even if they're only 2 or 3 years older than me, they have so much more experience. So I knew I could always go to them if I had any trouble being in a different country without my parents, and the guidance of the other Maroochydore members is really something you don't take for granted.
Yeah, I think it's like when you're training together as a club and you put in the work and then the results pay off and then you go away on trips together. I think that's what makes it so special, that we're all a part of Maroochydore and then we're still going away together. Like, it shows that we work hard together and then we succeed together. So I think that's, to answer the question.
What would be your advice to our listeners out there, especially in Queensland, that should get involved in surf lifesaving, especially down there at the beautiful Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club?
The special thing about Maroochydore and surf lifesaving in general is that you don't have to be an athlete to be a part of the community. We have patrols. You can get your SRC, your bronze medallion, participate in patrols. We have R&R competitions, champion lifesaver competitions, IRB, boats, everything you can think of. So not just being a social member of the club, it's just anything. You don't have to compete. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be the best. The Maroochydore community will welcome you in with open arms.
Yeah, just get in touch. Get down here. Place to be.
Now coming to a summer here in Australia, I guess for both of you, how important is surf lifesaving? Especially, I'm assuming that you patrol the beaches as well as obviously competing. I guess how important is that? And I guess have either of you done any actual you have to save someone?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I work as well as a council lifeguard. So like today, I worked at Maroochydore all day patrolling, and there was so I work and I patrol. So yeah, I've done plenty of like preventative actions, and it's my job to keep people safe at the beach, which is pretty cool. And then I can't get enough, and then I do patrols on the weekends. So but it's all about the public. For me, a good day at the beach is when the family comes, they don't even realize I'm there. So they've had a great day with their family, nothing's gone wrong, and they've left and they don't even realize that lifeguards are there. That's a perfect day for the family. Everyone's happy. Nothing's gone wrong. They haven't lost anything, haven't been harassed. Beach is clean. That's what it's all about. It's about literally the public coming to the beach and literally just having a great day, and we're like seamless. That's honestly what it's all about. Like the public and having the best experience and enjoying the beach. I mean, who doesn't love the beach environment? Like honestly, it's like literally the best place on earth. And you're in like the best state at the best beach. Doesn't get better, mate. Like honestly, you're so lucky just to be able to go to the beach. Like, yeah, it's just so good.
Yeah, they always say a quiet day is a good day at the beach. So whether you're just sitting on patrol watching the water, that's a good day. You never want to be having to go into a rescue. You want to be preventing those rescues from happening. So, and being able to like compete with those life-saving skills, we're taking the skills that we're competing with and bringing them to the wider community. We're actually applying what we're racing, which is something that not many sports get to have. So it's something really special.
Now, let's finish up a couple of light-hearted questions about your club members there. Now, I'll see if I get the similar answer I've got from a couple of your club members I've already had on the show. Now, the first question is, who's the comedian there at the club?
Has to be one of the Palmer boys, Adam or Matt Palmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There'd be there's tons of people around. Who knows?
Yes, the Palmer boys have been mentioned on that question. So you got that one perfect. Now, I know there's this social media thing called TikTok. So the question I want to ask
I'm not on it. I don't do it. I'm too old for that. I don't do it. I don't get it. I don't do it. But yeah, go on.
So the question I'm going to ask is, who's the best singer and dancer in the team?
I don't even know. I reckon Danny Short could get everyone a run for his money.
Yeah. Probably Danny.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to love hearing this. Any embarrassing moment in the water?
It's always embarrassing when you pull down a wave and then you're like next to someone and you pop up right next to them. You know what I mean, Jess? Like,
Yes.
your body's surfing a wave and you can't see anything, and then you pop up and you're like sprinting next to someone, you're like, oh, hey.
Hey,
That's
what's
kind of
up?
embarrassing. Yeah. I don't know what else. It's really embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't really have that many embarrassing moments. I remember a few times I've done pool rescue at nationals, and I've dived off the block for my final, and my fins come off, and I've done the whole race with one fin. Yeah, that was pretty heartbreaking.
The worst is swimming to the wrong can, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're doing a board rescue race or even a belt or just something, and there's this string of cans, a couple 100 meters out, you've gone to all the effort to get out past the break, past the surf, and you're on the line, you're thinking, yeah, blue and red can or white and blue can, whatever. The can's there, you're swimming, and then you're like, what? Why am I in front of a yellow, green, and green can? That doesn't even add up. Like, what?
Oh, no.
That's the worst. And then you've got to swim back across, like, diagonal, like an extra 50 meters. That's the worst. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I've got to ask this one. Do either of you have a pre-competition superstition or ritual?
I used to be really into this stuff, to be honest. I used to be, like, hella into it. And then I was just like, stuff it and just put in the work. I don't know, just work hard. Is that one? Just work harder than everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, I wear the same color goggles all the time. That's probably my only one. I always wear the same. I never buy new colors of goggles. I always wear the same color. So that would probably be mine.
Of course, following on from that, do either of you have a pump-up song before to hype yourself up before a competition?
Ooh. I don't know, I like a bit of Drake, but I mean, it depends. Depends what I'm feeling like. Sometimes Eminem's always good.
Yeah.
It's pretty pump up. Eminem, Kanye West or something.
Yeah, I don't think I really have a pump-up song. I just like to talk to people, to be honest, when I'm sitting in marshalling, just chatting away.
Now, we mentioned about embarrassing moments a moment ago. Now, have you seen anyone at the club doing any embarrassing moments or funny moments?
You always have your classic going down on a ski or a board and they nosedive and their craft splits in half. That's a good one. That one's pretty embarrassing. Or someone's paddling and they'll go straight into another person's ski and ding the other person's ski, not their own.
I don't know. Just there's this guy who's around the club. His name's Kalani, and I think just whatever he does is pretty funny. It's a bit of he's just a funny bloke, isn't he? Yeah.
All you say is you don't want to be a IRB crewie when he's the driver.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, both of you, thank you so much for joining us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. And obviously, I want to wish both of you all the best for the rest of this, obviously, the start of this summer season coming up and obviously going into next year. And hopefully, both of you can get a chance to compete again over somewhere around the world in a couple of events over there in 2021, once hopefully everything starts opening up.
Thank you very much.
No worries. And that's, of course, Jess and Steven then from the Maroochydore Surf Lifesaving Club. Of course, you want to get down there, we'll put all the details up on how to go about it. Of course, one of the most beautiful places on the Sunshine Coast. So make sure you get down there and, of course, get involved down there at Maroochydore. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the Tuesday edition.